What's up, you guys, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Cory. On this channel, we talk about personal finance and investing. Today, I want to talk about net worth by age. How much you need to save based on your age. If you're new here and you enjoy personal finance and investing content as much as I do, the more subscribers we can get, the better and more content I can continue to keep making. So subscribe. First off, no matter what stage of life you're in or how old you are, you're never too old or too young to start saving money. Now, if you immediately began to think, how much should I have saved by how old I am? Don't panic. I want to shift your mindset as we go into this to how much could I have saved? I want to make sure that you know with a topic like this, I'm not at all trying to make you feel bad about where you're at with your net worth according to your age. I know that a video like this can be especially hard to watch if you're not sure where you're supposed to be in regard to your peers. This is simply a report on the reality of the situation and how you can increase your net worth. This is an important statement and one that I don't hear said enough in personal finance articles and circles. Comparison is the killer of contentment. Let me say that again. Comparison is the killer of contentment. Don't compare yourself to anyone. You never know where somebody's at. Even if they drive a Porsche and own their own business, they could be in debt up to their eyeballs, and you would never know it.
They're up to our eyeballs in debt.
Now, number one, calculating your net worth. Now, I know this might seem rudimentary to some, but calculating your net worth is the best place to start. Calculating your net worth is determined by all of your assets minus all of your liabilities. For example, if you have $25,000 in a savings account or invested, and you had $50,000 in student loan debt, you have a minus $25,000 net worth. Now, don't be discouraged. If you haven't done this already, this can be an eye-opening experience for you, and it can be a little alarming. But again, this is a starting point. You have to know where you're starting in order to know where you're gonna go. Now, if you're in your 20s or early 30s, most 20s and 30-year-olds have a negative net worth simply because they're trying to pay down student loan debt, or they really enjoy expensive things. If you are in the negatives on your net worth, I would task yourself and determine to pay down any bad debt over the next several years. Bad debt is defined by anything above a 5% interest rate. Anything below a 5% interest rate, I would determine to pay down at a normal rate. Now, number two, why is calculating your net worth important? Calculating your net worth is important because the sooner you can project how much you're gonna be spending on a monthly and a yearly basis, the sooner you'll begin to determine how much you'll need to have invested so that you don't run out of money. For example, if I have $3 million tied up in my primary residence and I have $0 saved or invested by the time I reach age 50, I'm not going to be able to retire unless my children are going to take care of me for the rest of my life. Now, starting with your 20s, there isn't much data as far as net worth and savings rates in your 20s because most 20-year-olds and early 30-year-olds are focusing on paying down student loan debt, but rather a mindset shift to begin to set yourself up for success moving into your early 30s. If you're in your 20s, I would begin to start paying down bad debt, open up a Roth IRA, begin funding that, and focus on building your career. Gen Xers, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Sort of. Financial experts generally don't expect people in their 20s to have a high net worth or savings rate because they're focusing on paying down student loan debt. What you could aim to save by your 30s. One time your annual salary, let's say you make $50,000 a year, I would have a net worth of $50,000. I'd also aim to save 20% of your income. This is completely doable in your early 30s, providing you manage your expenses and you lower any bad debt that you have. Also in your 30s, I would aim to be completely bad debt free. In my eyes, that's anything above a 5% interest rate. Number four, what you could aim to save in your 40s. I would aim to have saved 3 to 5 times your annual salary. That's conservatively. More aggressively, I would say 5 to 7 times your annual salary. Again, there's no hard and fast rules to any of this. I would also know exactly how much you spend each month. I would also have calculated the dollar amount that you're gonna need to retire. And finally, in your 40s, I would have maxed out every retirement account that's available to you if you haven't already begun to do so. That's your 401k or 403b, a self-directed IRA, or a Roth IRA, not to mention an HSA if you qualify. What you could aim to save by age 50. I would aim to have saved 6 to 8 times your annual salary. 5 times is good, but that 6 to 8 times your annual salary is gonna set you up for success in retirement. I would have set a retirement age or an income projection based on the 4% rule. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the 4% rule, the Trinity study basically says that you can withdraw 4% of your total invested assets and not run out of money based on your portfolio allocations and balancing. But for the purposes of this video, the 4% rule means that you can withdraw 4% per year of your total invested assets and never run out of money. And finally, by age 50, I would be about halfway done with paying down your primary residence. Number 6, what you could aim to save by age 60. I would say 9 to 12 times your annual salary to have saved and invested. Let's say you make $70,000 a year times 12, that's $840,000 invested or saved. Also at age 60, you can begin withdrawing from your retirement accounts based on the 4% rule as mentioned earlier, without penalties. And finally, at age 60, I would have paid off or just about pay off your primary residence. Keep in mind, all the aforementioned targets are just a guide. There really are no hard and fast rules when it comes to any of this stuff. The best thing about personal finance is that it's personal. As I mentioned earlier, don't compare yourself to anyone. Comparison is the killer of contentment. Some factors to consider when determining where you want to land are based on 3 things. Number 1, your income or your future earnings potential. Number 2, what age or at what income from your investments you want to retire at. And number 3, what kind of a lifestyle you want in retirement. Your children will bless you for saving and investing. Now, your retirement savings rate can have a huge impact on your overall returns and your net worth by the time you start reaching age 40, 50, or 60. Here are some percentages you could adjust to accomplish your goals. The following is based on the U.S. annual housing income of $68,700, according to the Census Bureau data, assuming a modest 6% return. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this added some value to your life, and I hope this helped prepare you for saving and investing for your future. If you enjoy content like this and you want more, the more subscribers we can get, again, the better and more content I can continue to keep creating. So subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. If your money could talk, it would say, I'm a means and not an end. I'm a tool and a test. I can add meaning to life, but I'm not the meaning of life.